Calgary for this one. First time either of these teams have played outside of BC this year, and we are underway at Stadium Field. Be the Cascades starting things off. Still able to move it ahead. Far side moves in, goes into the box. And ball will be put out of bounds. Thrown in, but ref says that was too quick, so we're gonna do it again. Into the corner now, centering into the box. That finds no one. As the Vikes try to work this out. It's Whibley. Whibley far side. It's out of bounds. First throw in for the Vikes. Far side. Whibley trying to make a bit of room. Waiting on the call will be the first corner of the afternoon. Corner will be Mark Kaiser to take the kick. Kaiser into the box, headed up. Controlled by Victoria. Comes back out to Kaiser. Taylor will take this back, mishandles that just a bit, will go out and be a throw-in for Victoria. And mentioned it in the pregame, quite the Cinderella season for the Vikes, really exceeding everyone's expectations. Now into the box, looking to center! And we'll have a goalie kick there. Look like Victoria has had majority of the chances so far in the very early goings of this one. Kaiser sends it in again, popped up, and not quite cleared. He put back in by Hill. Headed up, and a bit of contact there. Will be a foul on Victoria. Cascades just trying to get out of their own end right now and relieve some of the pressure. Ready. Ahead. Rangi. Perfelt. And will be sent out of the side. Looked like that could have potentially been a corner, but around the field. So retrieving the ball always takes just a little bit of time. Rangi throws that in. We'll have a corner for the Cascades now. Be their first of the mat to take the kick for UFV. And we'll go way past the box and eventually out of bounds on the far side, and a throw in for the Vikes. Don't think quite the kick that UFV was looking for it there. It's thrown in and right back out. See, not too bad of a turnout here considering both of these teams playing out of province. A lot of fans from MRU getting here early. Really has been a lot of excitement this weekend over this tournament. First time being held here at Mount Royal. Taylor throws it in. Finds Hill. Can't quite get it to Whibley. Will be a goalie kick for the Cascades. UFV taking their time. Vega. To Sidhu. Far side, bit of room. Long pass into the box. Headed away by Lipke. just outside. Shot is blocked. Trying to keep the pressure on. Vikes really just clogging up the box right now, and that will sail high over top of the net. Be Jar to take the kick to get things started for us again. Approach 7 minutes gone. Chances for both sides, and foul called. Potentially a break there early on for the Vikes. Back to Lipke. It's Kaiser. It's headed forward by Wibley into the box, but taken away by Spice. See the Vikes really trying to get this thing to Wibley. Turnover around midfield. Another call against the Cascades. A little slow to get up. Seems to be in a bit of discomfort, but will stay in for the time being. Free kick from around midfield. Into the box. On net! Scores! Opening the scoring early. Find themselves up 1-0. See if they can ride that wave of momentum for the rest of this half. The Cascades now needing a response, as other than the corner kicks, haven't had too many quality chances. Been a bit of a slow start for them offensively. And defensively have been doing a good job of keeping the Vikes at bay until just that moment. Now Victoria back on the attack. It's Koshi. Works in. Will be taken down. He wanted a call. Won't get it. And it's a goalie kick for the Cascades. Caux over to his defender,
University
Sahib.
of Victoria Vikes goal scored by number 4, Jose Sagast, assisted by number 26, Mark Kaiser.
And that goal actually credited to Jose Sagast. So there were quite a few players over there. But for the Vikes, I don't think they care who scores, just as long as they get the goal. Early 1-0 lead, 10 minutes gone here in the first. Trying to book their ticket back to the Canada West Conference Championship game, as Hill tries to get past the defenders, leaves that in the box. Have to be centered again, hits the side of the net. As Hill tried to set up Ferentz there. Vikes looking for that commanding 2-0 lead. It's in, headed away. Victoria keeps possession. Will it stay in? Just barely. As Kaiser able to get there just in the nick of time. Taylor with the turnover. Nobody able to get possession right now. The Cascades heading this thing forward. Now a volley. Looks like will be an offside call. Yes, it is. Raggy was just bit offside. That was pretty close call. Seen them trying to get it to Rangi quite a few times. It's over to him again. Over to Reddy. Spice cross midfield. Centering pass taken away. Vikes in transition will be an offside call. Doesn't really matter as it goes all the way back to Caux. Vega. Cascades taking their time. Spice over to Sidhu. Now Vega again. Cascades trying to find that perfect look. Right now being pretty locked down by the Vikes. Now far side, moving in now. Gertson just fires that out of bounds. Tough sledding passing for the Cascades. Mike so far doing a great job just clogging up all the lanes. Cascades trying to work in again, and once again, pass is intercepted. Just be cleared out of bounds. And it hasn't been much pressure for the Vikes. Not necessarily looking for the takeaways right now, just stopping the Cascades from really getting any sort of momentum. And another throw in for the Cascades on the far side. As we near 15 minutes gone here in the first half. Headed forward and up. Hits a body, stays in. Finally will be fired down the field, but another throw in from right around the same spot we saw that last throw in. Sidhu over to Spice. Spice back to Sidhu. Rangi. And won't find anyone on the long pass. Najar will take this kick. Big boot from him past midfield. And great passing again from the Vikes, and a late offside call. The ref's calling it at the last second. Whibley was wide open to take a shot on Caux. Vega. He was worked on by Koshi. And again, long pass is broken up. I wouldn't even say the Cascades are necessarily telegraphing their passes either. It's just the Vikes always seem to be in the right spot at the right time. Centering pass goes off a defender, so we'll have a corner for the Cascades. Be the Parfait to take the kick once again. And again, kick is going to go long. This time finds its man and is blocked. Will be another corner kick though. Vega to take the kick. Sent in, lower this time in the box. Koshi was there, he gets his head on it. Hill races for the ball, gets around his defender. Has to stop, waits for some reinforcements. In the box, Koshi can't handle it. Victoria has to settle things down. Sagast. That is tipped by Spice. Forward by Taylor. Back around midfield will be Cascades' ball. UVIC still trailing 1-0. You're watching the Canada West Men's Soccer Final Four here on CanadaWest.tv, presented by Co-op. Headed by Koshi again. Caux has to come out and play it. That was close. Koshi all over him. Vikes back on the attack. Whibley in the box! Whibley gets the volley! Two nothing in the 19th minute.
University Victoria's second goal scored
Cascades
by number 9,
really
Ian Whibley,
needing to make something
from
happen
number
now.
11, Isaac Koch in the 19th minute.
Vega, again, the pass is out of reach. For UFV, that's just been the common theme. Passes are either too long or they're being tipped, intercepted, and cleared away. Victoria has been dominating the pace so far early on. It's back to Taylor. Talked about it in the pregame as well. These two teams met twice in the regular season. A win for the Vikes and then a draw. Throw in for the Cascades. Really needing to make something happen. Have to figure they got to get something going before the end of this half. Headed away by Gertson. Vega looking to center. Goes high and see the Cascades there. Nijar to kick. And bit of a shorter kick this time. It's headed by Zanata. Cascades now in transition. Parfait in, shoots! And that hits Lipke in the box. And again, Victoria right back out on the rush. It's Koshi. Pass out of reach. Jack Hill. The Vikes, despite this 2-0 lead, not letting up at all. Trying to put this one out of reach early. Rangi. Over to Vega. Spice again surveys his options and again plays this back. It's just been that kind of day so far for the Cascades. Sidhu. Over to Parfait. Cross now to Vega. Heads it forward, but will put this out of bounds and a throw in for the Vikes. Nijar. And the Vikes now, a bit of trouble there moving the ball. Nijar just puts that out of bounds. A couple of times. Vega. Ready to start up again. Had a bit of a uniform difficulty there. Vega centering out of the reach of Parfait. And Nijar will just play that. So we headed back to Cowicks now. Spice. Up to midfield, finds Vega. Now working in. Got past Taylor. Edge of the box. And is cleared away. Back out past the goal line will be another. Vega sends it in. Will be cleared away once again. It's Hill. Tries to work in. Jack Hill. Into the box. Oh, what a save by Cowicks. Keeps the Cascades alive with this one. Isaac Koshi all alone in the box. And Victoria had gone up 3 early. That 3-0 early. That could have been the game. But Jackson Cowks doing whatever he can to keep the Cascades gold medal game hopes alive. Stays in just barely. As Richardson was with this. So the comeback just became that much harder for the Cascades, as almost a perfectly placed free kick from way outside. Nijar able to get his mitts on that. Back to Cowks. Cascades are going to have to play even more conservatively than they already were. Going to have to be waiting for those right and perfect opportunities. Was Spice. He gets it back. Spice again. You can still hear the UVIC coaching staff arguing that red card. Pass will come all the way back out of the goal line. For the Vikes right now, things are on easy street, up to a man advantage as well. But still haven't taken the foot off of the gas. They work in again. Hill has it. Back looking for Wibley. Sadu able to get his head on that ball first. Hill. Over to Sagast. And foul call on the kick. Be Mark Kaiser to take this instead. Zanata able to head that, and that'll be cleared by Spice. Vikes get it right back. It's Hill. That'll go out off of Brar. Time here for this first half of game one. Thrown into Wibley. You see trying to set up Hill, not able to. Brar. Things getting physical there on the sideline. Throw in for the Cascades. Vega. Zanata. Finally kicked forward by Rangi. Comes all the way back to Nijar. Vikes know they don't have to be too risky here. They can play things pretty safe for the rest of this match. And it will be an offside call there again. See, the Vikes love to set up Wibley or Koshi just like that on those stretch passes where they run into the ball, but been burned on the offside a couple of times now. Though they don't seem too concerned, as they do still have that 2-0 lead. Spice. Pass is taken away. Up to midfield. Sadu played that forward. Comes all the way back to Cowks. Zanata. Give and go to Richardson. Looked like that got him on the hip. Wasn't able to control it. Headed forward. Again, broken up right around midfield. It's where the Vikes have done most of their defensive work. It's headed out of bounds, and Cascades getting ready to bring on a sub again. We're going to bring one in earlier, but that was happening right as the red card was issued, so they opted to wait, but we'll bring one in now. It will be Maynella. Zanata. To Brar. Brar finds Vega. Rangi. Back to Sadu. Sadu was looking for Richardson on the edge of the box. To Zanata. Ready. Gets it back. Running out of room. Pass tipped again and cleared. Zanata to Ready. Pass taken away. Caux has to come out. Makes another big save. On net. Over top of his head. Can't stop it. The Cascades just looking for something to go their way.
Vikes goal scored by number 16.
Went
Trey
down early.
Ferentz.
And really just haven't gotten anything going since. Foul called on Brar. Kick from Najar up to midfield. Controlled by Hill. Foul called there. A little bit of a shove. Wasn't really too much, but the call is made nonetheless. And Ferentz will be offside. Vikes not trying anything too fancy in their own end. Have just opted to send it back to Najar most of the time. Back on the attack. Koshi goes down on the edge of the box. And Minhas getting ready to come in on the sideline for Fraser Valley. Kick sent in, and somebody got a head on it there. Believe that was Gertson. Wasn't able to actually get that on net. Just over 5 minutes remaining here in regulation time for this first half. Spice to Richardson. He can't handle it. And looking for a handball call. They won't get it. And no call on the other end as well. The refs perhaps letting a couple of calls go there. Maybe a makeup call for the potential handball on the far side. It's Vega. Looking for Maynella. Najar will beat him to the ball. Sagast. Parfait. Read that. Koshi. Spice over to Zanata. Parfait. Working in slowly, taken away, telegraphing that pass a bit that time. Sonata back to Calx, but Wibley coming in with a full head of steam. As Koch plays it. Vega. To Rangi, up to Vega again. Cross for Spice. Been going to him a lot, trying to help get something set up, but for most of this afternoon, Cascades just really haven't been able to get anything set up. To Maynella. Little work past Kaiser. And Vega losing the handle there. Sagast. And shot on net. Thought that was going to be blocked, but no
Cascade
trouble for Calx
substitution,
that
number
time.
7, Parma and Minhas coming in for number 19, Manpal Brar.
Spice. Cross looking for Maynella. It's going to be Kaiser who controls that, and oh, that goes off the face of Anthony Vega. Went down right away. In the meantime, there'll just be 9 men on the field for UFV. See if the Vikes could put one more on the board before the half, but it's Sonata into Richardson. Pass was at that time by Gertson. Looking for Koch in the middle. It's Minhas. Poked out by Taylor. Keep an eye on that for the rest of this half. See if he comes back in. Long throw in. Doesn't make it to the net. Minhas fires! And Nijar able to cover up. First big save of the day he's had to make. Farman Minhas nearly able to pick the corner. Definitely the best chance the Cascades have had so far. This is the sun coming out here in Calgary, starting to warm up just a bit. Richardson breaks free. Back to Minhas. Parfait over to Sidhu. Jaskarm Sodi waits on the sideline to come in for UFV. Could be taking out Vega. We'll have to see. Maynella have that ball poked away, but goes out of bounds. Don't see anyone else coming off, so believe he is taking off Vega. It's Hill. Over to Koch. Has Farron slide tackle. Will push this out. And that will do it. As we saw the Cascades picking up that red card
Let's make some noise for this
about
Canada West
midway
semifinal.
through, making the comeback just that much tougher for the Cascades. See if they can get anything going, not even just necessarily for this match, just even some momentum for the bronze medal game as well, if that is where they end up. Cascades trying to keep their hopes alive, but needing something to happen sooner rather than later. control the play to start, but the Vikes again doing a good job of stopping them up around midfield. And in transition, but a foul call will stop the opportunity for the Cascades. Far side. Vikes with possession again. Be interesting to see what they do here in this second half. They continue to try and pile it on, or they just play things safe. Turnover around midfield, and a foul called as well. The Cascades. Minella, centering pass, won't find anyone in the box still, finally cleared. Played back again. And so far the Vikes in no rush to make anything happen. You can afford to do that, obviously, with a 3-goal lead and the man advantage. Koch. And losing the handle there on the far side. Had a chance to talk with him during halftime. Obviously thrilled with how things have gone so far. Not cleared. Now Hill gets it back. Tries to find a way in. Didn't really have one. Whibley will have that go out off of his foot. See a goalie kick. Into the box, and still no problem for Nijar. Hasn't really faced too much pressure today. Made one great save at the end of the first half, but it's about all the work he's had to do. Hasn't faced very many shots, not very many quality scoring chances either, for that fact. Things starting to warm up. Into the box. Couldn't get it back to Koch. Whibley was blazing in. Bit warmer here in this second half. Above 0 now. Due for about a high of 7 here today in Calgary. Into the box now. It's Koch! Adding on to the lead in this second half. That could very well do it. The 4-0 lead already so difficult to come back from, but especially so when you only have 10 men. It's headed up. And foul called. Zanata not happy with it. Neither is Minhas. Caux won't take any chances. Spice. Zanata. Into the box. Minhas. Looking for a way in. Centering pass. Hits Taylor, and see him trying to just run it off. Centering pass is put in. Ejar gets his hands on it, headed forward, and another save. After the brief injury timeout for him sent in and will be cleared away. Another corner for the Cascades. Parfait in, headed away by Taylor. And Parfait taken down. And delayed reaction there from the refs. Will be Cascades' ball. Sidhu to Parfait, back to Sidhu. Head and again broken up. Housey was there. Taylor works in, over to Ferentz now. Ferentz to Whibley. Whibley is taken down. And spot on Restaurant. Spice now off the field, walks off under his own power. And that ball redirected wide. I had to walk this off. Nine men for now. And Spice will come back on. He'll be okay. Parmbeer Coular on the sideline. Looks ready to come in for the Cascades. That goes off of Spice. And Coular will take off Charandeep Ragni. Taylor throws in. And we'll go out off of the foot of Sagast. The 56th minute of this match. Stopped again at midfield by Takowski. Coular just subbed into the match, looking to make something happen. Zanata keeps that in. Hasn't gone out yet. Finally will be fired out. Best option there for Lipke. Into the box now. Defenders all around. Looked like there could have been a handball there. No call from the official. Quick delay. And we get the go-ahead to get things started. Back to Kurtzen. To Lipke. Sagast. And not able to clear. Koch in the box! And he can't pick the side of the net that time. Going just a little bit wide. Looks like Haux was there, though. This will come back to Caux. Hit to Spice. looking okay since going off briefly for injury. And and just as I say that, his foot seems to be hurting again. Tobias Spice will remain on the sideline. He is up. Getting some help from coach and the trainer. Hoping he's okay and it's nothing too serious. We're back underway for the game. Looking for Richardson in the box. Can't find him. Come on for the sub, for the Vikes rather. 4 guys all around the officials' table. Pass. For the shot rather, will go a bit high up. We're near the halfway mark of this second half. Commanding lead for the Vikes. Looks like they're getting ready to make some pretty significant lineup changes here. Ball goes out, and most substitutions I've ever had to announce at one time. Long throw in. Looks like that. Oh, I thought that hit Richardson. Parfait sends it in. Nijar getting his hands on it again, deflecting that out of harm's way. It's a throw-in for UFV. Manella will do the honors. It's in. Out of the box. Cascades trying to keep the pressure on. That is deflected wide. Will be another corner for UFV. Bronze medal game going at 11 o'clock Mountain Time. Same start as this match today. Parfait into the box. That time it wasn't Nijar making the save. Getting some help from his defenders. Set back in. And he will collect it. Stays in bounds. Kind of flirting with the goal line that time. Over Lipke. Sagast. Gertson. To Lipke. Moving in again. Great passing play, just not quite in reach for Jose Sagast. That's the kind of display that coaches love. Nearly able to make that a 5-0 match. Lipke. Head to Ventura, one of the many subs that just came in for Victoria. Fisher had it for a moment. Goes out of bounds and a throw in for UFV. Tipped forward by Fisher. Gertson will just have to fire this out of bounds. Had lots of pressure on him. And you're watching Canada West Men's Soccer Final Four here on CanadaWest.tv, presented by Co-op. 4-0 lead for the Vikes. That shot will go high and wide. Big boot from Najjar. Kaiser can't keep it in. Now on the edge of the box, centering pass, gets through everyone. Taylor into the box, headed up. Oh, bicycle kick there. The Vikes trying to get a little bit fancy here. Would have been a highlight reel goal there for sure if Ventura had been able to pull that off. Got to give him some props. Most guys wouldn't even have the guts to attempt that in a match. But when you're up 4-0 in the 68th minute, I guess you have a little room to get a little bit creative. Minhas races for it, but Taylor will get to the ball first. Much, but getting a little bit cooler out here again. Minhas. And nobody home for the Cascades there. Will just roll out of bounds, and a throw-in for the Vikes. Victoria just 20 minutes away from securing their spot in the Canada West Finals. Ventura will let this roll all the way back to Caux. Sadu to Zanata. Sagast for Ventura. He goes wide, and well, since he's come in, you can see the Vikes were getting ready to come on. He will take off Trey Ferentz. That should do it for the subs for Victoria. Zanata. Sadu. Sagast. To Rook. He's taken down. Still in. Zanata can't get it out. In the box. 5-0 Victoria. Aiden Taylor. It is what now, and in what is now a 5-0 game for Victoria. This one just about all but over. The Vikes looking for one more. Taken down, and will be free kick and another yellow. We wait to get the wall set up. Ventura in. No trouble for Caux. Read that the whole way through traffic. Cascades Looks like they're really trying to get that ball up to Minhas now. He's had a couple of opportunities. Zanata gets his head on that, stays in, turned over along the line. That will sail just all the way through the box. Stefanak was all over that. Duran. Crossfield pass. There's Montero. Lipke. Over to Fisher. Gertson. Over to Lipke. Gertson to Fisher. Finds Duran. Ball sneaks through to Montero. And couldn't get the pass to Ventura. Calix was able to take that away. Goulart has that tipped and goes all the way to Najjar. Ajay Boparai on the sideline for the Cascades, getting ready to come on. Both sides reaching deep into their benches. Richardson took a stab at it, doesn't come away with it though. To Richardson now. And working to get that ball. He'll finish out this match. Just over 10 minutes left in regulation. Sagas gets that back to Lipke. Now Fisher. Duran. It is Sagas cross field. Not quite on the mark that time. Richardson tries to get free. Sodi gets through one defender, but is cleared way out of bounds. Haven't been afraid to hand out the cards today. Into the box. And was looking like an opportunity there for Bopare, who's beaten to it. Zanata. Oh, goes down hard. You could hear the collision in the match. Into the box, headed away. Will go out of bounds and a throw in for UFV. Now just 10 minutes remaining in regulation. Into the box. And again, Victoria not letting any opportunities to shoot on Najjar. Najjar has had to make a couple of great saves, but defense for the most part in front of him today has been terrific. Even bailed him out a couple of times with some saves of their own. Sidhu. Parfait. Goes goes through everyone and will be sent down by Lipke. Bit of miscommunication on the passing there from Victoria, but at this point don't think it's going to matter too much. This match pretty well set in stone. Zanata. Got this played back to Sadu. Cross to Reddy. Sadu surveys, takes his time. Now Kular. Victoria now trying to push the pace a little bit. Won't find Sodi. Goes out and a throw in for the Vikes. Stefanak throws that in. Collision there between teammates. That was Parfait and Zanata. Able to stay on their feet though. Richardson being worked on by Gertson. Gets it through, centering pass. And again, nobody in the box for UFV. A few times they've been able to get those passes. There just hasn't ever been someone to actually be on the receiving end of that pass. Sagast. Missing the mark there on that pass. Far side was controlled. Worked back into the middle for Sagast. Now Stefanak. Sagast all the way back to Nijar. Lipke. Gertson. Duran. Caux plays it. Moved up ahead. Far side, Richardson gets it through one defender, but again, back to Nijar. Victoria been very conservative on the defensive end, really just getting it back to Nijar fairly often. At this point, why not? Stefanak over to Sagast. Be Fisher to bring it across midfield, gets it right back to Sagast. See now, neither side in much of a hurry to really push things at this point. Result pretty well set in stone. Cascades, you know, just for themselves and their own momentum going into tomorrow. Would be great to see them get one before the final whistle is blown. Tipped wide of the net with under 5 minutes left in regulation. Parfait gets a foot on it, but can't come away with the turnover, as Rook was able to get past a couple of defenders, but goes down hard at the end. Parai is racing after it, but can't get there. Lipke will just send that back to Najar. Sagast to Ventura. And wasn't able to find Rook that time. Refs keeping an eye on their watches at this point. Just minutes left in this one. And after this match, make sure you stick around for post-game interview. Have with a member of the Vikes. As well, if you're so inclined, the MRU UBC game will be starting in a bit less than an hour and a half. Slated for a 2 o'clock Mountain start time. In the first meeting those two teams will have had all season. Back to Caux. Sodhi. And again, not really finding anyone. At this point, it seems like the Cascades are almost just sending these long passes as a Hail Mary, not necessarily looking for anyone, just kind of hoping there's someone down there. And looked like that may have been handball. Parfait lining up for the kick. We approach the 90th minute here. Sodhi goes down in the box. And no call from the official, though. See him talking with Sodhi after the play. Pass midfield. Sidhu able to break it up. Mike's not able to get much happening there in transition that time. Goes out and will be a throw in